The truth about work-life balance is you have to earn what is considered a balance. Most of the people that you see that's successful in life, they didn't have a work-life balance. At least in the beginning, they were simply obsessed with whatever it is that they want to achieve. It's not just work 80 hours. It's work 80 hours and outwork everyone around you, including that inner you that wants you to stop and go be like everybody else. Live up to what's conventional, what's normal in society, and then regret, as everybody do when they get older, but then you hide behind the truth because a lie makes you feel comfortable. That's why uncomfortness equals growth. You're sitting around trying to utilize something you haven't earned yet. Most people that's successful, they sacrifice something in the beginning, and then later on, they make sure that they put their energy into it and emphasize on what they sacrificed earlier, but they make sure that later on doesn't continue to be pushed to later on. Eventually, you must get to it. That takes extreme effort, extreme focus. You want work-life balance. Your work-life balance is going to be in the beginning you sacrifice, and then later on you earn the balance to do what you want, but you have earned the right to do what you want. How are you going to achieve something if you haven't sacrificed? Whatever transformation. Let's say you want to transform your body. We always start with that because it takes pain to go to the gym and actually lift heavy ass weights, which then transforms your body so long as you eat right. But it takes time. You're not going to do it overnight. It's the same thing goes with anything else in life. You want this work-life balance, but you haven't put in the work at all. You think you have. That's your comfort zone. It's about outworking everybody. You're not here to make other people comfortable. I always say haters are broke. Why? Because a hater feels like they've achieved something by sitting there judging you. The whole time they're wasting time judging you. What are they not doing? They're not putting in time for what they need to be doing with their life. They may even wake up and come to the conclusion that they don't need to do anything. No, they're lying to themselves. They're delusional. If you are spending time judging other people and not judging yourself, oftentimes you're spending time watching people's pockets, not watching yours. You're watching other people do things, you're not doing anything. You're watching other people do things you think is not right because you're too busy trying to be conventional and normal and rebuttal. Why is there something wrong with being normal? And it's not that it's necessarily something wrong with being normal. It's just we want to make it a thing to emphasize how if you're not normal, it's something wrong with you, and it's not the case. A lot of people want to step outside their comfort zone, but they're too comfortable being around other people that are comfortable. You're not here to make other people comfortable. You're not here to worry about who likes you. If you're scared to take risks, you've already failed because you didn't even try. You guaranteed to fail if you don't take risks. It doesn't matter what it is. You're lying to yourself. Some of you guys are worried about women. I said this in the previous video. Stop worrying about what you can't control. You will never be able to control women. You can only control how you deal with everything and everybody, and that goes for women as well. But you're sitting back looking for this easy route. There is no easy route. You're not here to convince yourself that something you want is not important to you. You're here to convince yourself that you can do whatever it takes to get whatever you want. You don't need to be around people who think otherwise. It doesn't matter who they are. You can't teach your old dog new tricks. Most people who you look up to, who you love, specifically in your family, they're old. They're still moving how they moved when they were your age, 20, 30 years old. They've given up on dreams. And you're going to take advice from them? Why? Because you love them? That's not an excuse. That's not a definitive reason why you should take advice from other people. What is that burning desire in your life? What do you really want? You're sitting around. You've been taking orders from your parents. And then you left your parents' household. Some of you are still there. And you immediately start to take orders from your boss. Then some of you are married like me, but you're not taking orders from yourself. You're taking orders from what everybody wants from you because you need to be the person that everybody depends on. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being an independent man who people depend on. When the last time you've done something for yourself that makes you feel good? You've completely lost sight of the form of delayed gratification. Which brings me to this point because one of you guys asked me about that. Delayed gratification. There's nothing wrong with delayed gratification because you need to have extreme focus, and oftentimes you have to remove yourself from the things you want to do, at least on a day-to-day basis, and put your effort into things that's important. And then once you've achieved at least some level of success when it comes to those things, then you can go back and every now and then, every so often, engage in the things that you want to do, your activities, your pleasure, your leisure time. But you have to be careful. You have to stop lying to yourself, because you will fall into the trap of it goes from delayed gratification to you never get gratification in the first place. You never achieve satisfaction because you become so good at doing what other people want you to do that that's your lifestyle. So you wake up, you do what your boss wants you to do at your job. You do what your family wants you to do. Your wife, your children. Your wife needs more time. Your children want you to show up to the soccer games, the football games, etc. Your mother wants something. Your father wants something. Your siblings want something. Your friends want something. And every single time you put what you want in the back, that shit's in the back seat. It don't even have a seatbelt on. It's just back there. It's just collecting time. And over time, you even forget that it's back there. And then one day you wake up and that shit hits you like a brick. You're sitting there saying, where has time went? But this is the importance of being focused, because you need to be able to differentiate delayed gratification. You need to be able to differentiate people who are of value, who you're giving your time to never seeking satisfaction from delayed gratification. And oftentimes what most men do, you're wasting time with people who don't appreciate your time. They're not valuable. You're just so used to doing what everybody wants you to do because you've been taking orders since a child. You fall right into taking orders from your boss. You fall right into taking orders from people around you who you possibly have to take care of. I'm not saying avoid your responsibility, but this takes extreme focus. And this is where we lose sight as men. We don't really understand how tough we have to be on ourselves. I brought up that in a previous video. Bully yourself. That moment where you start to say to yourself, oh, I have to do this because this is what society tells me. Fuck what society wants. What do you want? You're not on trial. Stop acting like you're on trial being judged for a crime you committed. You didn't commit a crime. You want to do what you want to do. At some point, you have to position yourself. You have to earn this, but don't put it on the back burner. Don't put it in the back seat while you're driving down a road going 100 miles per hour and you're going the wrong way the whole time. You have to at least write down what you want. Society is going to tell you what you need to do. Society will build you up, put you at the place where it can take everything from you. And once it's done extracting everything that you have to offer while giving you little to nothing in return, they'll forget about you and it's on to the next person. And you are going to sit there and blame society when this is a part of actually being a man. You have to blame yourself for allowing you to go down that path. You want to know why this is so uncomfortable? Because when you go against what people want you to consider normal and civilized, so long as you're not committing a crime, you're going to get a lot of feedback and you're going to get a lot of rebuttals, and people are going to let you know they're not comfortable with what you're doing, but it's not about them. And I think most of us are running from that because it's like confrontation. You don't want confrontation. But let me tell you this, time is our greatest asset, but we diminish the returns because we don't know how to invest our time. That work-life balance, in the beginning, you're going to sacrifice something. And in the future, you earn the right to have that balance, whatever that is to you. Like I just said, society will tell you what it wants you to do. I'm not telling you what you want to do, but I'm giving you this perception of what I see men do, and also using myself as an example of what I used to do earlier in my earlier years, because I was trying to follow the crowd. I thought that this was conventional. I thought this is what I needed to do because everybody around me was doing this, but I didn't want the results everybody wanted. I wanted to take a risk. Everybody wanted to play it safe. I did want marriage because I wanted children, and I knew that the best situation for my kids was a two-parents household. I wasn't against that, but I wasn't with doing what any woman wanted me to do. I had a way I wanted to operate, and a woman had to cooperate with how I operate, or it was going to be no relationship, let alone no kids. But that didn't involve a 24-year-old Instagram model. She didn't get validation from all the men online. I didn't want a woman like that. I sacrificed wanting that for wanting a woman that can be a mother to my children. That too required discipline and me going against what everybody else think. You see, a lot of dudes, a lot of people in general are judging men that have these situations where they're delaying everything that they want. And oftentimes, you can't suppress this forever, so it comes back and it backfires. They call it, midlife crisis. You got the 60, 70-year-old men who have money, so they have 24-year-old girlfriends. But they don't emphasize how some of those men were in marriages just for the sake of the child. They were in marriages just for the sake of society saying you're supposed to do it. They even married a woman that their families told them to marry. They didn't go pick a woman that they wanted to marry. Oh, she's beautiful. She's this, she's that. Beauty doesn't raise children. Beauty doesn't make you a housewife. Just because you call yourself a masculine man doesn't necessarily make you a masculine man. It's your actions. It's your behaviors. It's your integrity, your morals. People lack that just as much as people lack accountability. It's like everybody's biggest fear. But through the midst of all of that, it's a risk. You're worried about what your friends are going to think about the woman you bring home. You're worried about your parents and what they're going to think about the woman you bring home, because you're doing everything based on who's going to like it. You're not doing it based on what you like. Most people are not comfortable taking risks because they've never taken risk. You know what they've done? They've done what everybody else told them to do, and they got comfortable listening to what everybody tells them to do. Society. People will take everything you have to offer while giving you nothing in return. And when you have nothing else to offer, they'll leave you. People don't really like you. They like what you can bring to the table. They like what they can take from you, because people naturally are always looking for something to gain. This is why I don't hold back when I say men who are haters are broke, men who live off people, and they're grown men, but they're acting like children. They're like peasants, because it's the peasantry in humans that do this. We're not here to be liked and be around people based on us doing things that make them comfortable. You will live a life of regret. Take risks. A man should take risks. You guys hear me say don't be emotional. The first thing you say is a man should be able to be soft around people and have this and that. That's not the emotion I'm talking about. It's a form of emotion when someone tells you to do something, and in that moment you understand that doesn't correlate with what you do. But you then utilize that sense of, I want to be liked. I don't want to have confrontation with my mother, my father, with people around me. I don't want to dare to be different. That's that emotion I'm talking about. So then what do? You suppress that urge to be something better than you are today, tomorrow, and you give in to what they want. That's the emotion I'm talking about. And then you do this with what? Everything in life. Every aspect. And you suffer later, and you sit around asking, where did you go wrong? You went wrong the moment you allow your emotions, your comfort, to take over. Uncomfortness equals growth. You want a body that women love? You want money and success that make people shut the fuck up and pay attention because they want to be like you? Your success is so loud, it doesn't matter what excuse they make. They're just hating, and they're fans. That's just delusional. That's what we call haters. And they're broke peasants. That as well. You know, I say it all the time. I'm not afraid. Fuck off if you don't like it. These are the people you're worried about. But if you want success, if you want something that's so meaningful, you're going to have to break the rules. And I'm not talking about put yourself in a position where you lose your freedom. You got to break the rules that society has set for you. Look around. Men don't even want to be in relationships. Stop lying to yourself. You do want to be in relationships, but you know the pot that you choose from, the women that you have that's out there, because they're monkey see and monkey do, you don't want to deal with that. But the type of woman that's possibly going to be a good woman, she don't look the part compared to the women that you don't want to deal with but look good. Because let's just face it, women are like a beauty standard. They're beauty objects to men. Men are success objects to women. So that's why the successful man gets the beautiful women. That's why a man that's 60, 70 years old can have a 24-year-old woman so long as he has money and status. At the end of the day, you're up against this. You're going to have to deal with it. Don't run from it. But if you do want to be the guy that is a bachelor, has no wife, has no girl, has no children, but you want to fuck around, okay, just know that too comes with responsibility. And people still are going to be around you based on what you have to offer. In a sense, that goes back to work-life balance. You're still going to sacrifice to have something that somebody finds valuable. That's why they give you their time. Oftentimes, women will make transactions based on sex. Men make transactions based on success, right? Sex for men is what validation is for women. Women give sex to men that have success. Not all, but I'm saying the majority rules. The exception is not the rule, the majority rule. This is just how it goes. So you want a body that's women are attracted to, you're gonna have to sacrifice and become obsessed with working out. You want success that people see and respect, no matter what they want to say to make themselves comfortable within their insecurities. They have to shut up and pay attention because you're so damn good. You're gonna have to be obsessed. You're gonna sacrifice something in the beginning to get that success in return later down the road. You're gonna be unbalanced, uncomfortable, abnormal. That's the only way you become balanced later on. That's the only way you become normal to people who can relate to your level of success. Because it's two sides to every coin. What you want, you're gonna have to put in the work. The more you put in, the more you get out. Success is not guaranteed. But if you don't try because you're scared to take a risk, failure is guaranteed because you didn't try at all. So don't lie to yourself. As a man, that's the worst thing we can do is sit back and lie to ourselves. Don't allow delayed gratification to become no satisfaction, no gratification at all. You're not a robot. Don't try to train yourself to be one. You shall not try to be liked as a man. You should be respected. That's going to take you stepping on a lot of people's insecurities, not their toes. Stepping on people's toes refer to you being in the same environment as people going against the grain. You want to take yourself out of that environment because you would just be like every other man out here that's divorced after 20 years, having midlife crisis, trying to buy that sports car he liked when he was 12 years old, but he's now, 35, 40, 50 because he's trying to make up for the time he delayed all that gratification. But he never seek to have a time where he goes down the path of some type of satisfaction for himself, even though he haven't reached the level of success he wanted. You can always get back to it. You can take a break, but don't quit and don't put yourself in a position where you never start. It's not about where you start, it's how you finish. Don't put yourself in that predicament. You're going to step on people's insecurities. You're not here to make people comfortable. They can go find their people, their tribe, what we call it nowadays, a group of people that think like them, and they seek people on the internet to hold their hand because they're so emotional. You see what I'm doing with that? A lot of people use the word emotion to try to, justify, the manosphere is toxic. The manosphere is not toxic. What y'all call the manosphere is not the manosphere. That's just a bunch of dudes that's mad at the world, emotional, and they're not actually speaking about society for what it always has been. Men in the past had it different. Let's not make no mistake. But men in the past also had what? They had their difficulties when it comes to society. Okay? Men getting divorced didn't just start because, 20 years ago, social media. No. It's been going on. We may have heightened numbers, but it's been going on. So you're going to deal with difficulties in your society just like men dealt with difficulties in their society. But you can't excuse the process. That balance you want, you're going to have to earn it. That success you want, you're going to have to be obsessed to be successful. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to cost you something. Reality is free. Fantasies cost. But the reality you want is going to cost more than fantasies because it's going to cost you uncomfort. Fantasies are comfortable. You just pay later. Reality is free. Success is very uncomfortable, but you're paying right now. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want you guys to take that. You guys let me know how you feel about this video because I think it's a necessity for men to really understand this is what I mean by fuck your feelings. You can't control women, but you can control how you deal with everybody. That includes women. You want to be successful? That want to be successful is not going to be enough. You want to have a body that all women are attracted to? And it's going to take some time to get there. A lot of bulking and cutting. It's not going to happen in 2-3 months like some of these fucking fitness gurus tell you. It's going to take time. Everything takes time, and you're going to earn it. But if you're willing to earn everything, you can achieve everything. But that's just not going to be the typical work-life balance. You guys are working for the weekend. That's what work-life balance sounds to me. You're working just to have a weekend. Fuck a weekend. I want a lifestyle. So I'm going to do what I need to do in the beginning to earn that lifestyle. Everything is earned. Nothing is given, at least for men.